first time in a long time I'm close to my father. It's time I find him.
Run.
Come on!
I don't think I'm ready for things to change.
I don't think anyone ever is.
Hello. So, today is my review of the final episode of His Dark Materials, and I guess the whole season. We'll see. But this review is much later on to all of my other reviews compared to the episode, because I did the full 8 days of vlognica with videos on my channel. If you want to go and see, there's 8 videos about Jewishness, cooking, menorah lighting, anti-Semitism, education, lots and lots of exciting things. And so that's why this video is a little bit late. I wanted to give myself a little bit of break from editing, because I did edit 8 videos in a row every single day. So that's why this video is a little bit late. You're probably watching this on Christmas Eve or Christmas, so if you're celebrating, happy Christmas. I hope Santa brings you everything that you want, and I hope that you can celebrate with people that you care about, because we all know that Boris Johnson has fucked over the Christmas period, hasn't he? And as usual, I'm going to go through my Twitter thread to chat about what I thought, because that gives me, you know, chronological thoughts that I was having during the episode. And then at the end, we'll have a little bit of discussion of where I think season 3 is going to go, because now when I'm filming this, we know that season 3 has been greenlit, so we're going to get that sometime late 2022, maybe? So we've still got quite a long time to go for that. But it is coming, it's in the works. They're going to start on it next year in 2021. So Amber Spyglass is going to be adapted. So before I get into it, I'd like to say that I am a book fan. I've read the books, and I discuss my views of the TV show in relation to the books. So if you don't want to have spoilers for the books or for future seasons, don't watch my review. I had a really horrible comment about it last review that I did, calling me, saying in a very nice way that I shouldn't do spoilers, but it's like, it's my video, I've always done spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, please don't watch this video, and please don't comment something nasty, okay? I watched it live on BBC, and the announcer said we could all do with a happy ending. I was like, yeah, right, like that's gonna happen. It's His Dark Materials finale. You are mistaken, my friend, mistaken. I know it was like a little, you're gonna cry at the end of this episode, but it still pissed me off. I was devastated when we saw Ruta on those rocks, like, babe, what's happened? And I've just been listening to an early release, because I am a patron of Her Dark Materials podcast, their views on this episode. And what they were talking about is that they think this scene was actually for the Asriel episode, which makes sense to me, and I really like it. So yeah, I was very worried about Ruta, but I loved seeing the Cliff Gas. I think Cliff Gas are one of the most, like, fantasy-esque things in this series, because this series, like, although it's a fantasy, it's not really, like, it's sci-fi fantasy in my opinion. So I really liked seeing the Cliff Gas. I thought they were really creepy, which is good. I want to say that the music is wonderful. Lorne Balfe has done an amazing job so far on the seasons, and you can listen to all the music on Spotify, so go and check it out. It was recently released, the full, like, track list for this season, 35 tracks. Whew. I still haven't properly sat down to listen to it, which I will be doing soon, but go and give it a go, because it's wonderful and the music is wonderful, and Lorne Balfe has done such a great job, and I love the character themes. The character themes are my favourite. Anyway, Mrs. Coulter being in the cafe where Lyra and Will were really creeped me out, because that's their safe space. Like, obviously they're not going to go back there now, but that was their safe place. That's where they made a home. That's where they became friends. And it just feels weird having her invade the space. But it was a good choice, I think, because in the book, all of this stuff with the witches and Mrs. Coulter and Boreal, the stuff from the last episode, actually happened in a campsite in the woods. So I liked this change of the settings. I think it really felt like the show was a bit rounded, because in the books, I don't know, it just feels a bit like you can go more places in the book than in the show. I loved this part with the witch and Mrs. Coulter spectering the witch, well, the witch's demon. And I think, I haven't heard anyone talk about this, but for me and my understanding of what the spectres do, the spectres eat your demon, which is your soul. So everyone who gets spectred from the Chitagatse world technically have their demon eaten, and they're still alive, but they don't have a demon, and that's why they're like that. And in the last episode, Boreal was like, it's like they've been severed from the demon, and Mrs. Coulter like, no, it's worse. The spectres kill the demon, but the human remains alive because they kill the soul. Really bad, like really sad, really sad. But that's just a little bit of like lore there. I'm really into lore when it comes to fantasy world, and yeah, so that's a bit of lore if you were wondering. I don't know if it's a spoiler, possibly is a spoiler, but I already told you, don't watch this if you don't want spoilers. I also think Mrs. Coulter has far too much control over her emotions, like it's almost scary. And that bit where the spectre was like going for the monkey, I've seen people think that it was Mrs. Coulter trying to scare the monkey, so therefore scare part of herself into being normal. But what I think happened there is she lost the control of herself that she needs to control the spectres, and to control the spectres she needs to push down what makes her human. And if she's being emotional about Lyra and being worried about Lyra, she can't do that at the same time, so she had to like compose herself before the spectre would stop going to the monkey. So that's what I think was going on there. Some people think like she was scaring the monkey to be like, you behave, but I think it was different. Like I think she couldn't control herself, and she was having trouble with processing the news about Lyra being Eve, so that's why that happened. She's a wonder of a character, and Ruth Wilson is chef's kiss. Absolutely not. Nope. Can you guess what scenes that's about? I absolutely love Lee Scoresby. He's my favourite character in his Dark Materials, possibly even one of my favourite characters in all of everything. And Hester, by extension, I love her too. Now, me and my boyfriend, we just got pet rats this week, and I named mine Hester, obviously. And yeah, I don't know, seeing Lee and Hester be injured and in danger just really like made me sad. And after the episode, I just got my rat and I like cuddled it. I was just like, I'm sorry that your namesake just died on TV. And it's really cringy and a weird like rat mum thing, but I can't wait till we have such a strong bond that we can watch his Dark Materials together and see Hester on screen. I can be like, that's who you're named after, you know. I'm weird, but anyway. I think these blue flowers mean something, and I hadn't really put my finger on what I thought they meant, the blue petals that Mary keeps saying, but I think they might be coming from the Mulefa world. They might be the seed pod trees petals, possibly. Now, I think Mary goes through a few worlds before she gets to the Mulefa world, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, do let me know down below. But I do think it's possible that these could be the seed pod tree flowery petals, or something from the Mulefa world guiding her there. I think it's significant, and I think it's something that we should hold on to. I was a bit disappointed she didn't cross through any more windows this episode, especially in that final sequence. Like, she could have crossed through. I feel like it would have been a good thing. I don't know, maybe they want to start the season with her crossing through to the Mulefa world. Who knows what's going on? But yeah, I was a bit disappointed she didn't go anywhere. Like, it just felt like we didn't need to see her this episode. She could have done all of that in the last week's episode and I wouldn't have like missed her. Not that I don't want to see her on my screen because I love Mary, but I just feel like all the stuff she did this episode and last episode, she could have done in the same episode. I don't know. There's not even time to cry, goddamn. Like, Lee dies, but then like it cuts and you have to concentrate on something else. Like it was Mrs. Coulter or Lyra or something, and it's just like I can't, like I was sobbing, but then it's like quickly changing into a different scene. Like there was just no time to cry this episode. Like I was on the edge for the whole episode, but there was just no time to cry because everything was just happening and everyone was going everywhere and it was just like, what's going on? Now to talk about the John and Will scene. I thought it was a wonderful alteration of the book. In the book, it's a little less personal. It's in the dark and they fight a bit and Will doesn't realise that that's his dad until it's too late, till he's killed by the witch. And for me, I liked it better because we did see that Will knows what his dad looks like. So he can recognise him in the light, and he's been like, you know, trying to find his dad. So like he's been having these visions as well. So he knows that this is where he's going to find his dad. And I just liked it better to have, I liked them having that conversation, and I liked that Will was like, why didn't you come back? And he was like standing up for himself and standing up for his mum. I thought it was great. And the fact that there was a magisterium guard that crept up and John sacrificed himself for Will, I think that just gives a better arc to John, because in the book he's just a bit of a twat. Like it's just too late, like, and there's no father-son bond there, and I just think it's more tragic the fact that they had the bond and then it was like snuffed out straight away. I thought it was better, and the death feels more personal because he died to protect Will, and he sacrificed himself for Will. I think it's just a nicer tone than in the book. And I don't like how in the book the witch is like, he didn't want to be with me, so I'm going to kill him. Like, it just felt a little bit Deus Ex Machina to me. In the book, it's like, oh, Philip was like, oh, John needs to die, but I don't know how to make him die. Oh, maybe I could get like a witch. Oh yeah, and then like he wrote in a witch like after the fact, and I just never really liked it. I always thought it was a bit like, what's the point, you know? So I like that they changed it. It felt more personal, and it also makes Lee's death more tragic because he didn't kill every single magisterium guard, and, you know, quote unquote, he failed and he died for nothing. And I think that's more tragic because John, like, obviously he didn't die for nothing, but John still died and Lee was trying to protect him, you know, by doing that. So I thought it was better. Like, I loved it. I saw a lot of people being like really book purist about this episode and like being really nasty about this episode. There's this one channel that I watch reviews of, I'm not going to mention it, but that I used to watch the reviews for, but the channel was like really snobby about this episode, and I was like, I don't understand why you're being so dickish about it. Like, I don't know, it just really pissed me off. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I can't believe we saw angels this episode. How wonderful did they look? And I loved the Azrael scene. I loved that we had him. It did look a little bit less grounded in reality. Obviously, they probably just filmed it on an entire blue or green screen and didn't have much set piece like they did in the rest of the episodes. But the angels looked wonderful, and the speech was great. James McAvoy was great. And little piece of information, they actually filmed this during lockdown, so that was wonderful. I can't believe Mrs. Coulter put Lyra in a fucking box. In a box. In a fucking box. But I am glad that we're seeing how she takes her to where she's going in the cave. And not the cave that Mary had, like an actual real cave, like a cave. And that post-credit scene, I loved it. So on Twitter, both Jack and Jane were being like, watch till the end. Watch till the very, very end. Watch till the end. Make sure you wait until the end. And like, I'm in a few group chats and we were all like, what are they going on about? Like, what's happening at the end? Like, is it a post-credit scene? Is it season 3 getting announced? Like, what is going on? And it was just a perfect little like tidbit to have at the end of the season, because this sets up so perfectly the storyline of where season 3 is going to go and where the Amber Spyglass goes. And much of it is centered around the fact that Lyra hasn't forgiven herself still for what happened to Roger, and she blames herself, and she wants to make amends, and she wants to say sorry to him. And without spoiling too much, if you're watching it now, you've already known, but like, Lyra goes to see Roger's ghost, and there's so much going on with ghosts and death and the land of the dead. Roger's is a huge part of next season, and just that little tidbit was just wonderful, absolutely gorgeous. And to see Roger again, and I watch a reactor for Historic Materials, and she has the best reactions. She's so like extra when it comes to her reactions, and if I did reactions I'd be like that too. But she had the most, she was like a Roger stan, and she absolutely loved Roger. And watching her, like, she was just like chatting a little bit at the end as the credits were going, and then like she heard Roger's voice, and her reaction was just pure entertainment gold, and it was just great. Like, it was a great addition to have at the end of the episode. It was absolutely wonderful, and I really enjoyed it, and I just thought it was great. And this season there's been a few little things that I would change. So one of the things being, for me, is I thought that in the book it was more impactful to have Mary destroy the cave herself, because, you know, that's her life's work, and she is choosing to destroy her life's work in the name of what is right. And I think it's a much greater decision having her do it herself. So when the cave like sort of combusted itself, I was like, well, that's a bit shit. There's like only, you know, a few little things that I didn't like at the way they did it. All in all, I do think that this, it was so good. It was so good, and I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. It's like one of the best adaptations of a book I've ever seen. Like, I haven't seen an adaptation of a book that's been this perfect before. Like, let me know down below if there's any other ones, but this one was just so damn freaking good. So I'm gonna go probably edit this video, and I will see you in another video. Comment any of your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you want to hear more Historic Materials content. I'll put a link up here to my Historic Materials playlist. There's lots of videos, reviews, the deep thoughts, trailer breakdowns, trailer reactions. Just go ahead and watch it. Thanks for being faithful, and thanks for watching. Mwah.